Hi, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, like, subscribe, and stay a while. My name is LaTanya Carter, your relationship specialist. In this video, you're probably searching for information on identifying toxic communication and antidotes to those type of communications in your relationship. Welcome to Committed to Change with your girl, LaTanya Carter, your relationship specialist. We're going to take this journey together. The question is, do you have the will to change? Relationships require work and are bound to have challenges, small and large. With your commitment and your willpower to do what it takes, you will have the relationship that you want with yourself and with others. Take out your paper and pen and let's begin. Today we're going to be talking about what relationship expert and best-selling author Dr. John Gottman calls the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. This is a metaphor used to describe counterproductive behavior that is so fatal that it could predict a relationship failure if they are not changed. This is because each one of these can destroy the love that you have in your heart for your relationship. This is close and dear to me because I experienced all 4 of these in my relationship. Now you may be thinking like, oh, what did her husband do to her? No, it was me. I remember sitting in a classroom in college. I was taking a marriage and family class. And in that class, we talked about these 4 horsemen. And as the professor went over each one of these, I did a check mark for each of these 4 horsemen: criticism, defensiveness, contempt, and stonewalling. I was crying inside and my eyes were watering on the surface because I realized that I was the most awful communicator. And not only did I realize that I was the most awful communicator, that I was on the verge of destroying my marriage based on the way that I communicated with my spouse. Let's go over these 4 horsemen. So take out your paper and pen and let's begin. The first horseman is criticism. Criticism is when you are attacking or putting down your partner's personality instead of focusing on the behavior. You use statements like always and never. You always do X, Y, and Z to me, or you never do X, Y, and Z, right? And I'm pretty sure if somebody says to you, you always or you never, you can think of a time where you did whatever they say that you didn't do, or a time that you didn't do what they say you always did, right? So let's talk about criticism versus complaining. So when you have a complaint, it's specific, right? Your complaint is about the person not taking out the trash, or maybe you're not spending time together, right? So you target the behavior that you want to change. Now, antidote to criticism is actually telling your partner what it is that you want. So you find out from within, what is your request? What is your wish? What is your needs behind the criticism? You want to address the behavior, and you do not want to attack the person. So you want to be specific in your complaints. No, when X, Y, and Z happened, I felt X, Y, and Z, and I want to see X, Y, and Z. So in other words, you want a soft startup. You want to think about what it is that you want to say to your partner and be tactful. And you don't want to judge that individual, right? You want to come from a place where you truly want your needs to be met in this moment, and you want to focus on not attacking them as a person, but focusing on the behavior that you would like to change. The second horseman is defensiveness. So of course, if somebody criticizes you, automatically you may go into defense mode, right? This is an attempt to protect yourself, right? You automatically want to defend yourself, right? You perceive that you're being attacked. You start cross-complaining. Remember in our last video, we talked about yes-butting and cross-complaining. So when you're in defense, mode, then you'll say, yes, but you did X, Y, and Z, right? You don't want to do that when you're having conflict within your relationship, right? You don't want to be on the defense all the time. Now, what is an antidote to being defensive? So an antidote to being defensive is using active listening skills. Maybe you didn't hear what you thought you heard, right? Validating your partner, validating what they're saying. You understand what they're saying. Let's make sense out of it, right? And then you want to accept responsibility for the part that you have played in whatever is going on. Learn to get undefended. Let me say it again. Learn to get undefended. Because what happens when you have the criticism going on, then you have the defensiveness going on, then comes the contempt. John Gottman says that contempt is 90% predictive of failure of relationships. So we want to just throw this one all out the door, okay? It's no different than when you're at work and you're working hard and your boss comes in and says to you, you're not working hard enough, right? You turned this in 2 minutes late. I wanted this 2 minutes ago. Or, you're being lazy, or you're not doing this, or you're not doing that. And the funny thing is that people that are the ones that are presenting the contempt, right? They really want you to receive it and say, oh, you know what? Thank you for pointing out how lazy I am, or how I'm not doing X, Y, and Z. In reality, no one is going to do that, right? So these behaviors are attacking the partner's sense of self-worth, right? And it's an intentional insult, and it is a psychological abuse to that person. Someone that's displaying contempt, they roll their eyes, they name call, they have sarcasm, hostile humor, all of these things, right? And who wants to be attacked in this way? You start to feel unappreciated, right? And so the person that's giving the contempt, they also feel unappreciated. So what are the antidotes to contempt? Be aware of your thoughts and your feelings and your behaviors. Try to understand where the other person is coming from, right? Target what it is that you are trying to identify with that person. Speak with respect. We all want respect. And you would want respect if the other person was talking to you and bringing an issue to you. So let it go. You can just let it go. You can practice holding your partner in warm regards. Catch your partner doing something right. If you play negative thoughts of your partners over and over again, or you feel like you do things better than your partner, or if they're not doing what you say do, then it's your right to criticize them. It's your right to call them out of their names. And that is not the case. And when you do that, you may find your partner, which is the fourth horseman, stonewalling. Now, 80% of males stonewall. We're not saying that all males stonewall. We're not saying that women don't stonewall, but men stonewall a lot, right? More than women do. You may find yourself in an argument or disagreement, and then the person freezes up, right? According to you. You're in the room and one person is talking, but the other person is not. All right, that person that's stonewalling, they're probably flooded. If you was to use a pulse meter, right, to take their pulse, it's probably over 100 and they're flooded and they can't have this conversation with you. But what does the partner do that's not stonewalling? They feel disrespected. They feel like the other partner is not in the conversation, that they're not connecting with them. And that may not be the case. That it may just be that they're overwhelmed with the conversation. They don't want to have the conversation anymore right now because they can't. And what I would suggest to someone that is stonewalling is to have a safe word. Whether that word is Fruit Loop, pineapple, whatever it is, you guys come up with a plan. And when that happens, it's time to take a time out. So that is the first antidote for stonewalling, is Be aware of your emotions. Be aware that you need to take a time up, but also agree to come back to that conversation. Okay, do you understand that? Take a deep breath. Say, I want to have this conversation with you. I hear what you're saying, but I need to take a break. And then you agree on a time to come back and have that conversation. Now, while you're taking this break, I don't want you writing down what it is that you're gonna say when you come back to the conversation, right? No, you go and you do something productive, whether you may wanna go take a walk, or run, read a magazine, listen to music, but learn how to self-soothe, right? Calm down, and then you say, okay, we can have this conversation again, right? Have a plan. I know that was a lot of information, but the good news is that you're able to implement it in your own relationship and add it to your relationship toolbox. Now I want to share a story with you, finding the elephant in the room. There's a tale about 6 blind men who wanted to figure out what an elephant is by touching it. When the first man touched the elephant leg, he said, hey, this elephant is a pillar. And the second man said, no, it's like a rope, when he was touching the tail. The third man said, it's like a thick branch of a tree, and he was touching the elephant's trunk. The fourth man said, no, it's like a big hand fan. Yep, you guessed it, it was his ears. The fifth man said, no, it's like a huge wall, as he was touching the elephant's belly. The sixth man said, no, it's a solid pipe, as he was touching the tusk of the elephant. The men began to argue, and they all insisted they were right. Now, on the outside looking in, it is very clear that they all were right. So the take-home message is that almost every fight, there is an invisible elephant in the room. Look around. Do you see the elephant in the room? The elephant finds itself in the middle of both viewpoints. So I encourage you to acknowledge that your partner's viewpoint is just as valid as your viewpoint. I'm gonna say that again. Your partner's viewpoint is just as valid as yours. So the next time there's conflict, remember the elephant in the room story and ask, what is wrong? I'm trying to find the elephant in the room. Then you can say, can we discuss what you're seeing so that we can both get to the bottom of and resolve what this elephant is together? Can y'all do that? Find the elephant in the room together. So let's remember some other takeaways from today. Have a soft startup. Use active listening. Validate what your partner is saying. Learn to get undefended. Create a culture of appreciation. Check your feelings, take time out, and learn to self-soothe. And once you do these things, you will improve your relationship. I want to thank you for allowing me to come into your homes today and discuss these topics with you. If you're enjoying these videos so far, and if you missed any of them, please go back and check out my previous videos so that we can continue to grow together. As always, remember to commit to change. We will be focused on a few key barriers to communication. Now, I want you to take a moment to write these key barriers down. Kitchen sinking, mind reading, interrupting, yes butting, and cross complaining. Okay, I'm gonna repeat that again. Kitchen sinking, mind reading, interrupting, yes butting, and cross complaining. Now, when you hear those things, does any of those things come to mind in your actual communication with your partner? Well, let's go a little farther. So we're going to go in depth with each one of these barriers to effective communication. So the first one is kitchen sinking. Could you even think about what kitchen sinking could represent within your communication Welcome to Committed to Change with your girl, LaTanya Carter, your relationship specialist. We're going to take this journey together. The question is, do you have the will to change? Relationships require work and are bound to have challenges, small and large. With your commitment and your willpower to do what it takes, you will have the relationship that you want with yourself and with others. Take out your paper and pen and let's begin.